Let's go.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to SWS Boxing. Delighted to be joined with Owen. Kirk. He is 3 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. Back out Saturday night against Rhys Woods, and he's topping the bill. How does that sound?
Sounds good, doesn't it, Sam? That's what I'm in professional boxing for. Um, I'm hoping to have many more nights like this, but the task ahead is Saturday night against Rhys Woods, and just it happens so be that it's my first main event as well, and I'm quite glad it's my first main event. Like it's not a main event against a bad fighter. It's deemed as a 50-50 fight. He thinks he'll beat me, and I think I'm going to beat him. Yeah, so we should live up to the old hype of being main event Saturday night.
100% you both will. But before I get into that, you did rematch Jake Bray in October.
I did.
And again, I thought you nicked it. I had you 4 rounds to 2.
Yeah, do you know what? No, I'm not being biased. Like I'll always say, Sam, if the better man beats me, or if it's a draw, or if it's a good fight and it could have gone either way. Look, like I say in many of other interviews, I am what you get. If the better man beats me, I'll own up to it, shake his hand, and say, "Fair play to you, mate. You beat me. You're the better man." The first Jake Bray fight, I won that one hands down, but that's been and gone. Rematched him. The rematch he come more for the win. He wasn't so much a journeyman because I went to his backyard. So that was a good, like, I was coming to win, he was coming to win fight. And like we say, I thought I edged it 4-2, but it was a draw. And I wanted to take the positives from it, and I learned a lot. So
You
I'm
fought
moving
his
forward in the
fight,
positive.
mate.
I did. I showed I can have a fight. And do you know what? I showed I could have a fight, like fighting his style. I could have probably quite easily outpointed him that night. Just getting behind my boxing ability because I can box really well.
How gutted
But
were you when the decision was a draw? How gutted were
do
you?
you know what? It was a bit bizarre on the night because it was such a fight where, like, when I say to you, like, I was hitting him hard, he was hitting me hard. Like, I wasn't really thinking much at the time. I was just thinking fight. And when the decision come round, I looked at my coaches and I said, how did that even go? Because it was just like most boxers will be able to relate, Sam. Like when you fight, it's just a blur, mate. Before you know it's over and you can't remember it happening. Just because you're that zoned in, it's like it flashes by, mate, and until you watch it back, like it's quite hard to remember what went on. But that was one of them fights because it was an all-out action-packed fight from round one. There weren't no phases in that fight where it took us 2 rounds to get going, 3 rounds to get going. From round one, we've come out and we was trading big right to the last bell. So it was all action. So we didn't even have me personally. I don't know if Jake probably tell you the same thing. I didn't even have time to think in there. I was just fighting and enjoying it.
Fight of the night, though. Of course, you're
Yeah.
always in the fight of the night.
Ah, that's it, mate. And I'm looking for the same again on Saturday. Going off what Reese boy's saying, he's going to come and knock me out and stop me. Well, we're going to see about that, aren't we? But let me tell you this, Sam. He ain't doing nothing to me Saturday night. I'm going to absolutely walk through him Saturday. And I honestly think he's massively underestimating what I'm going to bring. Because if he thinks he can stop me, well, then fair play to him. Look, confidence is key in boxing. I don't take that away from no man. It's good that he's got confidence, but we need to be real in this sport. And I ain't no man that gets walked through quite easily.
Because he was saying to me that he thinks that he'll knock you out.
Good on him. And look, if he's coming with that approach, all I'll say to him is keep your hands high, mate, and watch what's coming back. Don't be becoming complacent because, you know, I am sharp. I am ready. And I'm ready to show him that what I'm saying on these
Is
interviews
he
and
is
what
he saying as well? He also said that he's been active and he looks at you that you haven't fought since October. But
yeah.
I know I didn't say this to him, but he doesn't know what you've been doing, so I wouldn't really
Yeah, this is
under.
sorry to interrupt you there, Sam. What you're saying there, exactly. Like he don't have no idea. He said it on. I watched your interview with him. He's like, yeah, I've only met him a couple of times. He don't know nothing about me. He don't know what I do day to day. He don't know what I've done since October. And look, I'm not. I don't want to disrespect him when I'm saying this. I try and say this in the nicest way because look, I've got nothing personal against him. I said it in the VIP interview. I like his coach. I like him. I've seen him a couple of times. We said hello and whatnot. So like, there's nothing personal there. It's just a fight, and you've got to get yourself up for it. But when he's making comments saying, "Oh, he's been injured," I had a broken nose. You know what I mean? I had a broken nose. It was soon fixed. I've had many spars, many
Was that from
rounds.
Jake Bray's fight?
No, I was getting ready to fight Casey Brown, if you remember. And in my second to last spar of camp, I think it was, I was down in Bolton and I had quite a bad nose break, but because it was so close to the fight, there's nothing I could have done. I would have fought, but
I thought
obviously,
you was meant to fight Johnny Johnny
yeah, I was meant to fight Johnny Boy 4 weeks after Jake Bray.
in the
But
tournament. But what happened with
yeah,
that, mate? Like, were you?
so what? I'll be honest with that fight. I was well up for it, but when all the hype sort of stopped after the Jake Bray fight, I fought Jake Bray on the Saturday night, and then on the Wednesday, sort of tea time, I think it was. All four of us went to the VIP gym to do the draw. I drew Johnny Boy, and then it was like I was straight back in camp, so I hadn't had a rest, and I was just absolutely like worn out to another level. So I went and got a bit of like health advice off someone I know who knows a bit about, like all that sort of stuff. And they basically they did like blood pressure, all your health checks, and they just basically went, you need to calm down a bit, Owen. You need a few weeks off, because you're going to end up seriously making yourself ill or seriously fatigued for a very long time. So I had to take that advice, and yeah, I'm glad I did because I got a good rest in, and I was meant to fight Casey Brown after that. Felt feeling absolutely flying in that camp. I was having
What
great
went wrong
spars.
with that fight? Because I never saw
So that
like a fight announcement.
yeah, it was fully announced. It wasn't far off happening. Sorry. And then I broke my nose. That was when I broke my nose in the second to last. I think I was about 10 days away from the fight, and I broke my nose really badly. And luckily, I had Lee Hogan there from VIP, because he got it on film. He literally got he got my nose like how it was after it was broken. So that was kind of a blessing because they knew it was legit. Like I will never pull out of a fight for unlegitimate reasons. Like if I'm ever having to pull out of a fight, which unfortunately I have twice, I say
Mhm.
how it is. I'm not going to pull out for stupid reasons. It's always honest, like things that have happened. And at that time, look, so 2 fights down. So between now and October, whatever it is, 8, 9 months, whatever it's been, like going back to what was on about before, Reese's banging on saying, "Oh, he's been inactive. I fought." Well, he's had 3 fights since then and been knocked out twice. So I don't know what's worse: not fighting since October and having a great fight and learning a lot, or having 3 fights overall and getting put on the floor twice. I know me personally, I'd rather have what I've got on my shoulders and what he has because he's been knocked out by Sergio Ambombo and Johnny Boy wiped the floor with him. So you know what I mean? Say what you want. That's his last 9 months, and that's my last 9 months.
Mhm. Um, did you watch his fight with Johnny? What were
I
your
did.
overall thoughts?
It's one of them. I've never like been in the ring with Rhys. I've only ever seen him like boxing. But I've sparred Johnny Boy, and I know what Johnny Boy can bring. Johnny Boy's a very tough lad, and he's a nice lad. I like Johnny Boy. He's a top lad. Um, and I knew that Rhys to win that fight, if he was going to, he can't get involved with Johnny Boy because Johnny Boy is one tough man.
Yeah, because he
He's a
said to
tough
me that
fella.
he fought Johnny's style.
I don't even think he did box Johnny's style. I just don't think Reese could. I don't think Reese could get his work off against Johnny Boy. Reese was boxing long at times, and then Johnny Boy, because of how tough he
He
is,
had he had a
he
couple
did.
of successes in that fight though.
No, yeah, you can't take that away from Reese. Reese done at times, he done well against Johnny Boy. But with Johnny Boy, like you have to be severely smart because he's one of them fighters where he will happily take some shots to land his own,
Did
and
you?
he's a fighter.
Because of course,
He's a
like,
fighter, Johnny Boy. Go on.
did you expect Johnny to beat him? Like when they got announced to fight?
Yeah. To be honest with you, I thought Johnny Boy would have stopped him earlier. Um, but that's credit to Reese. Like I said, I've been in the ring with Johnny. He's tough. He comes forward and he likes to smother you. Not smothers his work. He smothers it. He'll just be in your face all night.
Mhm.
But I expected Johnny Boy. Yeah, I expected that to happen. It was just a matter of when.
Mhm. Of course. Wait. So were you taking much out of that? Do you look at that fight mainly?
Um, yeah. Do you know what it is? When it's not so much me. I have looked at Reese's fights, but my coach Bob, he sort of does the studying, and then he'll come into the gym and tell me what to do, and we'll just repeat, repeat, repeat.
Mhm.
I have had a look at Reese's fights, but I don't look at Reese's downs. I look at his highs because
So the fights he's won.
I look at the fights that he's won, yeah, because at the end of the day, the fights that he's won, he's been better than the other guy. So I need to take away from Rhys what his best things are, so I can capitalise on them. And if I can take his best things away from him, then I'm in for a good night. Whereas if I take his bad things away from him, which when I say that,
The
if I
thing is,
analyse him on a bad night, I'm not. Yeah,
if you looked at the fight against Johnny, some people also do look at the defeats as well as the wins because they can
yeah,
see if they can see a weakness in.
yeah. Oh, I know what
Like the
Reese's
shot that
weakness
put
is.
Rhys down, like you might look at that and think, you might go for that, like because if you see an opening and that shot seemed to work for Johnny, it might
Yeah,
for you, or maybe who knows, he might be practicing. Or you just
covering
never know
up. Yeah,
what he. You both don't know what each other's doing were doing in the gym.
yeah. I'm just like, you know, Reese is talking about on his interviews, and he's not been disrespecting me or anything like.
Mhm.
But he's been saying that he's going to come out and try and make me retire on a stool and knock me out and stop me. And it's just like, for him to do that, he has to come and rough me up. And not in one of his 8 fights or whatever he's had.
You
Is he
had a
never roughed
broken
anybody
hand
up?
against Jake, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had a broken hand against Jake and still fought. So, no disrespect to Reese, but I'm yet to see him have a dogfight and try and get rid of somebody. Like, he's a very good boxer, but look, mate, like he's gonna have to do more than what I've seen if he's gonna do anything he's saying he's gonna
You've
do.
had two sort of dog fights in a row, haven't you?
Yeah, so that first fight with Jake Bray, I broke my thumb pretty much straight away. If you watch the footage back, I come out and I was just sort of gauging my distance a bit, and I hit him with four. It was either 4 or 5 hooks, literally round the side, and it was the last one I think I threw with my left hand. My left hand it was, and yeah, it literally went 20, 30 seconds into the first round. And my dad, who was in my corner that night, he wanted to pull. He said to me, he said, "Let me pull you out of the fight. We can get it rescheduled." And I looked him in his eyes. I went, "I've still got another hand I can stop this guy with. I just need to land. I just need to land one shot." But like, it's the first time I've ever had to like adjust. So I didn't realize that how much thinking I'd have to do to protect my injured hand as well. But I adjusted and I was happy with it. So yeah.
I think these two fights with Jake have made you better and stronger as a fighter
Certainly, yeah. I've learned a lot. Like,
since
big
you've
shout
been
out
in
to
the
Jake Bray.
trenches. You've had some dog fights, and
Do you know what? I wouldn't even. We had a good dog fight, but I wouldn't say I was in the trenches really. No. Jake could probably tell you the same. Like, I've never once felt hurt against Jake Bray. Nothing like when he hit me and stuff. And it was just one of them fights was knocking hell out of each other. And Jake Bray's a really tough man, and I class myself as a tough man as well.
so why did you not go for a trilogy fight with Jake? You just went straight into that tournament thing,
Yeah. I said to Jake Bray, I said, we fought at the end of Doncaster when we fought in the Doncaster race courses. I said to him after we had a good chat. I like Jake; he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
And we had a good chat. And I just said to him, I said, if they make me and you fight again, which I'm happy to do, and he said he's happy to do it. I said, I'm not doing it. I said, me and you deserve. Me and you. Sorry, I just got a text from VIP there. Me and you deserve for the 2 great fights that we've had. We
What
deserve
about
an
that
undercard.
title with that? Because I think Johnny has vacated it, Rhys was saying, or something.
Yeah. So
So
that title's that title's
the
light
winner of
middle.
UV Rhys, yeah, could fight Jake for the title.
Well, not really. No, that title, it's a light middleweight, and I'm not a light middleweight, so I'm a middleweight.
So what weight's this fight at?
This fight's at middleweight. They
Is
said, "Do you
Rhys
want to fight
coming
him?"
down?
He's coming up.
It's
Oh
coming
wait,
up.
yeah, he's coming up a weight from his last fight. Look, light middleweight, I could maybe make it, but like I'd be taking a lot out myself. I walk around quite heavy, me, and by the time I've rehydrated after the weigh-in, and then Saturday night comes, I feel like I'm going to be a lot more. I don't know. There'll be a lot more weight behind my punches compared to his.
Rhys said it's make or break for him. Is it make or break for you?
Um, I don't even want to put that pressure on myself, mate. I'm just coming out to win. Like on Saturday night, mate, I have got in my mind just a big old demolition job. I've been sparring. I've been sparring some great guys. I've kept this camp quite quiet, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really do. I
Yeah,
think I'm
because
gonna walk
I've
through.
seen you're not posting much,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
suppose that's good in a way that you're keeping it a bit
yeah.
quiet as well. That's
Do you know what it is with Reece saying it's make or break? Like other people are telling him that I believe, like, and you watch what he's done, you watch what I've done. Like, fair enough to him, he's had a great few fights, and he's had a Central Area title fight. Nothing but hats off to him. But he's 5 wins, 2 losses, and been stopped twice, and badly was one of them. Like, I was there for that against Sergio Ambomba.
wait,
You know,
was
he
you
got
there?
stopped.
Because I
Uh,
still haven't seen like the
yeah, well,
because it's
they won't put the footage up of that, obviously, because he was a home fighter. But
yeah,
I can
is
understand
it
that. That's
bad?
respectful. He was knocked out badly, yeah. And I believe when a man gets knocked out like that, Sam, it does something to the human brain. Like, I'm talking on the mental factor now. I study a lot of mental stuff. I'm not just get on a bag and get on pads. I study the mental aspect. I mentally put myself through tests and, tease my brain a bit and go. I'm studying him. Like, when people get knocked out as badly as he has, and when he got stopped against Johnny Boy, when
Mm-hmm.
the going gets tough on Saturday night, or maybe moving forward in his career if it carries on, he's just going to be like deja vu. He's going to get hit on them same places in the head because he will. I'm going to land punches. It's a boxing match. He's going to have to take a few.
Mm-hmm.
And when I land some big ones on him, if it don't drop him straight away and I hit him and I hurt him, his brain is going to jump straight back to them times when he was hurt last time and he was on the floor. And sometimes your head gets the better of you. And I think that's what's going to happen. I'm going to hit him.
So do you feel like you've got to get into like this sort of dogfight, bring him into a dogfight?
I can't give away me tactics, but
Mm-hmm.
we've got a few plans. Yeah, I'm happy to stand at range and have a boxing match with him, or I'm happy to have a dog fight. Either or, I'm going to win, mate, and that's why I'm here. I'm not here to, sit down. I'm not here to
What
get some
would
money.
it
I'm not.
mean to you, like getting back to winning ways?
It'd be good.
And what
That's what
would
I'm here
this
for, Sam.
win do for you in your career?
I just think winning this fight, it's not going to catapult me anywhere spectacular, but it's definitely, I've climbed another step on the ladder that I'm trying to reach the top of.
Well, it would
Yeah,
be a
just
winning
win this
record
fight.
on your record anyway.
Yeah, win this fight. Go 4 wins, 4 1-1.
And then would you fancy that Jake trilogy, mate?
We'll see about that. I take a Jake Bray trilogy, but like I said to Jake, I says because we've had 2 great fights, I said
Are you
Steve
not
Wood can.
bored of facing each other now?
No, me and Jakey
I
boy, we're
could
a
I
good.
could watch you and Jake, mate, fight 10
Yeah,
times and it would just be
great
every
fight ten
time it would
times.
just be a great fight.
Yeah, no, you know what? Jake, he's a top lad. I'd happily fight him again. And he said, well, I know he'd fight me
I
again
think
because he's
everyone
a
would
couple of
pay
old
to
boots.
watch it again because it was such a the first 2 fights were a war. I mean, you know.
Yeah, they were good. They were really good. And if we ever have a trilogy, I'd like to get that pushed onto like a big show because Steve Wood's well tied in with like Ben Shalom Boxer and
Oh
whoever
yeah,
the
that's
rest of them
got
are.
to be on the TV because
This is
that
what I
was
mean, mate.
incredible.
Sometimes you get like undercard fights on these big shows and they bore people to death. Well, at least when me and Jake Bray are facing each other in a boxing ring, give us a little bit of something. You know what I mean? Like let's have an opportunity just to experience the big stage and not just that. Give people something fun to watch
Hmm.
on a bigger scale. Like so, that's what I've said. Look, I'm not saying that's got to happen for the trilogy top, and they might chuck us in Bolton, they might chuck us in Doncaster or wherever. But that'd be nice. Me and Jake now we've got a bit of history. 2 great fights.
How
Like I say,
many
I've no
tickets have you done for this one?
without could not tell you Sam without counting, but I got a good support coming down Saturday night, and they're certainly going to be screaming for me nice and loud. The old Morecambe lot. So yeah, it's going to be good.
It's good because you both bring in good crowds and yeah. It does it bring a bit more excitement for you as your main event? Does that bring more excitement for you?
You know what? It's a good buzz that we're main event, but to me, at the end of the day, it don't change nothing in my mind whether we're on the second
Because
fight
if
of the
you were
card or main
first
event.
or you were just.
I've literally just got one thing in my mind on Saturday night, and I'm not going to let off too much, but I think we all know what it is. On Saturday night, I've got one thing in my head, and yeah, I'm leaving that arena that night, and well, that venue, and yeah, it'll be happening, 100% happening. I'm feeling great, Sam. Training camp has gone absolutely phenomenal. I've
When
been
did
doing
training
recovery.
camp end for you? Like last week or?
Do you want me to be honest with you? Training camp finishes for me when the fight's won, and I can pick up a nice pizza and I don't know, a bit of a tango or a Fanta to wash it down. Yeah, training camp for me, the camp finishes when the fight's won. When it comes to toning training down, I toned training down sort of last week Friday, last week Saturday. So yeah, just been sweating between then and now. Just been doing like light stuff, just keeping my weight nice and low and just keeping my bones moving, mate, and my muscles active.
So of course you said that you're staying at middleweight and the tournament was at super welter. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't be like we wouldn't be seeing you fight Johnny like if or
Yeah,
as you're
look,
just happy at middle now and who's central
yeah,
area champion at middle?
I don't know. I was having this conversation yesterday in the gym.
I think it was
Um,
Jack Kilgannon, was it?
yeah, I think he was. I don't know if he still is. I do definitely remember him being it, but I don't because he's fought Zach Chelly. I know since. So I don't know. I'd have to have a look on the board's website.
Yeah, but you're just focused on Rhys and see
Yeah,
what happens from there. But
yeah. I can't wait. Can't wait for the bell to ring and big old Rhys Woods is galloping over to me trying to knock me out. We'll get a few questions answered this night coming, won't we?
mm-hmm. And I've
What do you? Let me ask you a question, Sam. What do you reckon to this fight? Let me ask the interviewer the question. Let me ask you. I'm not going to ask you for prediction because I don't want to put you on the spot or nothing. I know your job you're doing here. You've got to be like non-biased. You've got to win the viewers both. I understand and respect that. But what's your thoughts on this fight overall?
I can't wait for it, and I think you're both hungry because he's coming off a defeat. You're coming off a draw. I think you're both hungry. I don't know because I think if you stand and trade, it will go your way. But if he stands and boxes, I more say it goes his way. But I'm not going to say who I think will win. But I just want to stay on the fence at the minute. But it's going to be a
Not like I
war.
say.
It's going to be a great fight.
Yeah,
And
I hope so. Yeah, let's hope so. It'd be even better if I knock him clean out in a one round, but I won't sprint before I can walk.
I think you'll both love an early knockout if you could.
I mean, I think any boxer in the world would like an early knockout, but sometimes people stood in front of you are a lot tougher than people imagine.
Because I'm sure you've trained for six, it to go the six as well, and he probably has as well.
Mate, I'm flying 6 rounds right now, mate. To me, I'm flying. Like I've been doing a lot of sparring.
Because he hasn't been past that six, even though he was scheduled for 10. He hasn't been past 6 rounds.
No, he's never done. Technically, he's never boxed. Right? Was Casey Brown fight 6 rounds?
Yeah, and he beat
It was,
him
wasn't it?
58, 56. That was
58, 57, wasn't it? So there was 1 point in it, but
that was
again going back.
I think that was a good performance from him. I think that's probably his best win. I mean, because he's another prospect, isn't he? He's good, Casey.
Yeah, Casey's a very good boxer.
Did you watch him against that Lambert guy?
Yeah, I did on the Boxer show. I think Casey done really well, to be honest. I was chatting about that the other day with Lee Hogan at VIP. And
Is
I think
Lee
Casey...
Hogan the one who works with Steve?
Yeah, he's a guy that does the interviews on VIP boxing.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, but it was a good fight for Casey, that. Credit to him. I know he's had a little baby now. Congratulations to him and his partner. I can relate to it. And I know Rhys has got a little one on the way as well. So congratulations to him. I've got my little boy. I know exactly how them two boys are. It's the best feeling in the world. So nothing but congratulations to them both. And I wish them all their health and happiness moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Of course, there's some other fights coming up as well. I know this one's in 2 weeks. Crawford Spence. You probably knew I was going to ask you that. But
Yeah, yeah.
what's your thoughts on that fight and who wins?
I think it's a great fight. It's a fight that the boxing public and fans, and including myself, it's one of them fights. You're like, when's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Now it's finally here, and touch wood, nothing happens between now and then. But my personal opinion is, I think Crawford will beat him.
I
I don't
agree,
know.
mate. I agree.
I don't know how. Listen, Errol Spence is very good, and I think you're in for a good fight with that. But I think Errol Spence is, he had a bad car crash.
Everyone who I've interviewed, who I asked this,
Yeah,
people, especially this week, are saying about the car crash will affect him quite a bit.
yeah, and that's it. Like, obviously, that car crash is out of his hands. That's not his fault, is it? But
You can
uh,
literally toss a coin for this fight, and
yeah, and then we've got
I think
Tyson.
I reckon Crawford will get to him actually a bit late.
Yeah, I think Crawford could stop him, but I think we'll be in for a treat. There's a
Oh,
few good fights, Sam. You've got AJ White too. You've got Fury. Tyson's fighting Ngannou.
what's your thoughts on Tyson fighting Ngannou, mate?
I like it. I seen Tyson come in the gym last night. Obviously, I'm from the same town as him. He's just got back from Dubai. He was in the gym last night and chatting to a few boys after he'd left and that. And I quite like that fight. I know it's a bit of like an unexpected one, but Ngannou, I know he's a different combat sport, but that man is a big man. And when you see him knocking guys out in the UFC, he's the title for this fight, the baddest man on the planet. Like, I think that's the perfect title because Tyson's a bad man, and Ngannou's a bad man. And when they meet, I do think like you're gonna see success from both fighters. And when they're heavyweights, mate, anything can happen. But I'm expecting a big Tyson Fury knockout as per usual.
I mean, do you get why people don't want to see that fight? Do you also get how people don't want to see that fight as well?
I understand why people don't want to see it, and I don't even think it's necessarily down to don't wanting to see it. I think they just want to see other fights instead, like Usyk. They want to see him fight Joshua.
So do you
You
speak to
know,
Tyson like a bit? Do you speak to him at all?
yeah, I said hello to him last night in the gym. He comes in and just sort of see like just one of his friends has got a lad that trains in the gym, so he just comes in, says hello and that, and
Is it good that you train well, sort of around somebody like Tyson Fury?
you know what? It's a blessing having Tyson Fury in this hometown of Morecambe because Morecambe's a small town. It's an absolute blessing. Funnily enough, I was with his brother Roman today, who was in a sauna and having an ice bath tonight. Literally, that's where I've just come from. And I was chatting to Roman and that, and I said it's very surreal. Like, we've got the heavyweight champion of the world. I said that's your brother. I said for me, like I've got a picture of me and Tyson going way back when I was your age. And it's like when you've seen somebody so much and then you see the success, you got to pinch yourself a little bit, because going back in history, it's Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, the Klitschko's, and more.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of them. He's just one of them of our era, and it's mad, and it's a blessing really. It's very motivating to have him around because he's a good guy, and he's a great character as well. When you can get speaking to him for sure. He was actually at the last fight when I fought Jake Brain
Oh
Doncaster.
yeah,
He was
because
there.
Roman was on that card as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Roman had his pro debut. So Tyson was down there. We had a right laugh. A few of the lads backstage. Like, it was a good fun. Yeah, Big John was there, being funny as ever. Tommy was there. Roman was there after his win.
What were your
Yeah,
thoughts on Tommy when he beat Jake Paul?
yeah. I always expected it to happen. I was going down to Bolton quite a lot because me and Tommy and Roman, we all have the same coach. So the guy that trains me trains Tommy and Roman as well.
Oh
Um,
really?
yeah, yeah. So when Tommy was training for Jake Paul, towards the back end of Tommy's training camp, I was going down to Bolton and just jumping in on the sessions with him and Roman.
When he went down and when Tommy went down in that last round, was there nerves like as you know him? Was there nerves when it went to decision, knowing it was Jake's like promotion and stuff?
Yeah, Do you know what? When I looked at it, I didn't even think it was a knockdown. Like I know a jab landed, but Tommy's feet just weren't set. I'm not being biased here, but for me that weren't I wouldn't class that as a knockdown. It was just
Yeah, not
his
many
feet
people
weren't.
do.
Yeah, his feet weren't planted right. But at the end of the day, your feet aren't always planted right. And Jake Paul has happened to throw the shot at the right time, so you're
Mhm.
gonna get 50-50 comments. But me personally, I don't think Tommy was hurt from it. Tommy he had his feet misplaced and got caught a bit off balance, and it caused him just to. He jumped straight up. He didn't even properly land on the floor. He sort of
He
landed on
wasn't
his
hurt
hand.
at all. It was just
No,
it was more sort of a slip, I
yeah,
would
just
say.
wrong places of the feet.
'Cause he
But
jumped
I was
straight back up. He was
yeah,
unfazed, but it's just I mean, thank God they gave that right decision. Because when it was
yeah,
split, I really thought they were gonna rob him and us just
yeah. Well, when Tommy knocks KSI out later in the year, when that fight gets signed and done, I think Tommy will knock KSI out. I do. I think he'll stop KSI,
probably
and then I think the Jake Paul rematch might happen.
the rematch.
Yeah, I think so. There's
This
talks of
time
it
he's
in
gonna
there.
knock him out then. This time he'll
I
knock him
think,
out.
yeah. Let me tell you something, Sam. When I was watching Tommy spar down in Bolton, I won't let too much off because obviously it's confidential in it. But when I was watching him spar, he was sparring some good lads, and he was having a new opponent in for every round. Um,
That's good.
and Tommy was beating people up. Like honestly, he was beating people up, and he was doing extremely well. And like watching him box that well, it was like, wow. I remember chatting with John, and John was throwing a few names out there, saying he'd throw him in with some, high level light heavyweights on the English and British scene, and I wasn't doubting it for 1 second with the way he was sparring. He was doing really well in that camp.
That's good to hear. So, as you know, Tommy, I know you can't confirm the fight, but is it looking likely he'll fight KSI?
Yeah, I don't really know anything at the minute. Obviously, when fights like this are being negotiated, it's until it's officially announced, you don't know. I know we have the same coach and whatnot, but business is business in it. So
Mhm.
um, I do believe it'll happen. You see things on social
I
media
think
and that.
Tommy should. I reckon Tommy will knock him out in 2 rounds.
I do. And Tommy, when you see him facing off with each other, when KSI fought last time out, when Tommy was stood in front of him, Tommy's a big lad. You know, Tommy was a lot bigger than him,
Yeah.
and Tommy punches very hard, and he's very fast, and he's very smart. And
You sparred Tommy, haven't you, before?
I had a body spar with him a few years back. Yeah, I've never had a proper spar with him.
But
No.
still, you've had a body spar, so you still feel
Yeah.
the same power as well. So it's just
Yeah,
good.
even when we was body sparring, like we weren't even going full pelt, but Tommy can punch quite hard, and I think when he fulfills his potential, like and finds himself a bit more, and obviously boxing's a learning game. I think when he can overcome all the nerves, because all those boxers suffer it, but like the nervousness and whatnot. But they say you get to a level when you come out of your shell, and I think when he comes out of his shell, he will be a serious problem in that weight division. And I'm not being biased, but
Yeah.
I've seen him on a very good day, and he's very good, Tommy. He's
Hmm.
very good. Same with Roman. Roman's got like 2 professional fights under his belt, and
He's
that's it.
looking
No
good as
amateurs.
well.
And like I've seen Roman in the gym. He's punching hard, sharp. His footwork's like really well. He's fit. He's in good shape. He's looking well. These boys, they're both very good boxers, and when you're watching them spar and that, it's nice to be around because
Yeah.
obviously you feed off other people's energy, and when people are doing well, it gives you a bit of a boost yourself.
Hmm. And last thing, do you want to thank just anyone who's helped you this camp and just in general, anyone, sponsors, manager?
Yeah, yeah. A big shout out to all my sponsors. I've got quite a lot of them, but they all know who they are. And anyone wanting to, have a look at my sponsors, they'll be on my fight kits. They're on my social medias regular. I want to shout out one of my main sponsors, actually, AVPI. AVPI, they've got behind me since day one. And I just want to say a massive thank you to them. I've never actually done this on camera before, but yeah, just massive thank you to them guys, AVPI. They are my number one sponsor. They've sponsored me since day one and they're still going now. The support we speak on the regular. So I just want to say cheers, pal, and appreciate it a lot.
And good luck with the fight, Owen, and all the best.
I appreciate you, mate. Hey, it's good to speak to you, mate. I know we've been meaning to get this interview in for a while, but I've just been so busy knuckling down with training camp and, just not so much being on social media as much as what I
Yeah.
usually am. I've just been trying to knuckle down, mate, and now I'm quieting down. It's the day before the weigh-in.
Yeah.
That's why we managed to get it in. And yeah, been good to speak to you, mate. It's been good to have a catch up.
I always appreciate your time, mate. And again, good luck and enjoy the rest of your day. And yeah, just good luck in
Yeah,
general.
I
Thank
appreciate
you,
it, mate.
Owen.
And to you. Take care, mate.
Bye.
Bye.